Hi guys, so another quick video about some help towards spotting scammers. So you may be aware that there's a group called it's got Blacklist. If you search, I think it's MR2 or Scammers Blacklist anyway, you'll come across a very handy group that's kind of dedicated to finding out scammers or reporting scammers. I believe it's run by Daniel Guta, another a good guy in the scene, MR2 Sensei. Anyways, so I thought I need to make another little quick video, so I went on the Blacklist group, just kind of picked one at random, just to sort of show the things that I look for straight away. So, number one, here we are, suspected scammer. Uh, don't know how to put this, except I hate using all this black and white thing, but anyway, white guy, middle-aged, normal looking. um I suspect, with my spidey senses are telling me this is an African. Frankly, nothing against Africans, got a lot of history there myself, but this has piqued my interest. So, number one thing, if I have a suspected scammer, maybe I'm interested in buying a part or something, I want to just check out the profile, get a little bit of a clue if this person's legit before I start asking their friends and blah, blah, blah. So, number one, this initially doesn't have my first indicator. There's a profile picture, sure, but there is also a background picture, that picture with the lamp and the star and the people. I've noticed that quite a few, I mean, scammers are lazy. Quite a few of them, they don't even bother with a background picture. But here's where I start. You see where it says James Maxwell, add friend, next to that's a message. Then you've got 3 pips. Hit the 3 pips. And you'll see right at the bottom there, the link, just above where it says copy link at the bottom. Now, a standard Facebook profile will just have https facebook.com/profile.php, blah, blah. Then the next bit's normally just that random number. Now, people have been on here quite a while and at some time got bored and personalized their profile, fiddling around in the settings. Not everyone does. But sometimes you'll just change that to a personal profile. So instead of a random number, like in my case, it will say just.seidel, brackets, yes, my name's Seidel, not Seidel. Anyway, but what I have noticed there, that's why it's the first thing I hit, is I have often seen, it might say, like, thinking of a scammer name from the past, James Brown, for example, not the singer, just using the name. When I went to their personal link, it had an African name. Now, that's your first red flag. So if the name on that link there is different to the profile name, bang on, 100% scammer, drop it, lose it, report it. So going back, so that's the first thing I look for. I always look at the link, because if it's a scamming profile I've had for a while, it might be it started out as one of their normal sort of profiles, and they decided they didn't use that one much. It's one of their lower ones, not their normal one. And they might change, like here, the name's James Maxwell, but that link, they won't think to change that. So it could have their original profile name. So second thing, it says followed by 5 people. Right, that's a red flag. Another red flag is it being a profile within the last 2 to 3 years. I pretty much standard when I'm adminning and moderating. If it's an old profile like 2010, 2015, if nothing really piques my interest, I'll just automatically accept it. I don't really know why. I suspect there's always been scammers, but scam profiles tend to get found out, within a time, perhaps even as much as a year or two. But generally scamming profiles, they're only a few years old, so that's another flag. So followed by 5 people. This is my number 2. I'll tap that. Oh, okay, can't seem to do that. All right, next thing would be friends. Now, how many friends they've got is quite important. Scammers, they're not going to have a lot of friends on there. They don't use it as a social network. They just use it to cheat people. Mutual friends, none. That's normal. So hit all. Now, you'll often find this. Sometimes with scamming profiles, you'll see 2, 3 friends will show. They're lazy, as I say, so they won't hide that. And though this appears to perhaps be a European, American, whatever, English guy, whatever, a white person, hate this black-white thing, but, for some reason, a lot of scammers are from third world countries. I kind of get it. Life's tough. You got to do what you got to do, get a few quid. But they can do that. That's their right. But we just don't want it in the MR2 community. So we're doing what we do to push them somewhere else. Go get your scamming from somewhere else. So as it happened, this one says that his friend list is private. Many legit people will just make their friends list private, but it is a clue sometimes. So we go back. Posts. I'm tapping it, but nothing's happening. Posts is my next thing that I look for, because when you click posts, if it's a scammer, you're going to see all their little scammy posts, and you're going to see that they're all in different groups. You might have they might be selling a hard top in Carolina, America. They might have, I don't know, some wheels that they're selling in Sydney, Australia. You can get a bit of a clue from that sometimes. Next thing I do, I work my way down. Photos. Right, there's no photos of James. Some legit people keep their privacy. So uploads, there's only one, and that upload is the background picture. Albums, now if this is an MR2 guy, lady, person, they're going to be proud of their car like we all are. So under albums, I would expect to see a picture of at least one picture of their MR2. We're all vain and proud of our cars. We've got to at least say, check out my ride, So again, just the cover photo. So that's a red flag. So then I work down, just having a look, like scrolling. Okay, you can see I'm scrolling and there's nothing. You would expect some history there. And if somebody is legit and quite private, they will, of course, make their photos or their posts and such, their whole profile really, private. But you will see anytime they updated their profile picture or cover picture. So, if I could scroll down and it goes back, there might be only 3 things here. They might have only updated their profile picture 3 times since, say, 2012. But you will see the times they did it. So you expect some history. There's no history there. Another red flag. Oops, I've gone too far. So this is, there's so many red flags here. A bull would get hypnotized. It's ridiculous. Another thing that I do is James's info, or the person's info. No workplaces, no schools, places lived, nothing to show. Again, a legit person might keep those private. But what do we have here in likes? Scammers are lazy. They had it too easy too long, and they think they could just put like a face on there and people will fall for it. And unfortunately, some do. But, if you think about get into their heads, they've probably got half a dozen profiles. They're scamming here, there, and everywhere, switching profiles. Occasionally, they'll get bored, and they might just make a mistake. Instead of going back to their own personal profile to look at something, they might be bored there. They start scrolling and they like a thing. So we're going to click on likes. I already looked ahead, full disclosure, so I know where this one's leading. So likes, what is this Fingers production? Mighty Fingers production. Fair enough. Maybe a fetish, who knows? But as I scroll down this, I did notice slightly down here, what do we have here? What do we have here? Some African people. Bless their hearts, love Africans. But I don't love the scammy ones. For some reason, my screen is not working right. There we go. So, Aguba's wife. Aguba. Oh, wow, that guy looks 102. I hope to God that is his daughter, but I suspect it's not. Let's mute that. So, again, it's not out of reason. Oh, Boyfriend Association of Nigeria. Well, surprise, surprise. So, it's not out of reason. I've got links, actually, with Nigeria. I lived there 3 years myself. That's actually a bit of a bonus when it comes to picking out scammers, because some come from there. Not every Nigerian is a scammer. Don't get it twisted. But looking at that profile, there's little information. The only real big thing waving in our face is this link to Africa. So I'm reasonably sure that this particular guy is not who he pretends to be. For some reason, it's gone back again. I've got a cracked screen, so sometimes when I tap things, strange things happen. Let me go down again, because something I wanted to point out. Yeah, this next thing. Another thing is just seeing it says precious again. Right, the thing with African people tend to be religious and tend to name themselves with names like Glory, Precious, things like that, kind of sweet little names. So Precious, if you're checking out a profile, seems to be a sort of, let's say, a sort of Texan, from America, and his profile picture is a 50-year-old sat next to his Chevy with a shotgun or something. Go in his friends list or something and see somebody called Precious or, Glory, things like that. It's a red flag. So, I'm really, really going to stress, I'm not trying to say that all Africans are scammers. That's really not so. I spent 3 years in West Africa, and I can tell you for sure, there's really good people there. But unfortunately, within our community and several other communities, there do seem to be people from the third world. It's not just from Africa. I'm seeing just a few Nigerians, mainly Cameroonians. There's been one or two in South Africa, but I'm also seeing them from India, Bangladesh, and that sort of thing. And like I say, we can't just judge everybody by the colour of the skin and their geographical location. In the third world, things are tough. I've seen personally, trials and tribulations that kind of necessitate having to find money by all means and short of actually pulling a weapon and robbing somebody. Something like this, if you think about it, in comparison, we might have 20 quid sat in our purse or wallet and it's there just to do whatever with. 20 quid is pretty much half a month's pay for some of these people. So, we want to push them away from our community, but be mindful, it's not all about just robbing and stealing. Anyway, I hope it helped.